All right, so I'm about to take this unit apart, this heater. It's a little space heater. It's a Holmes bathroom heater. I don't know much about it. It's kind of old. It was in my mom's house when I inherited it. And it was working when I first found it. But then all of a sudden it just quit working altogether. Nothing powers up at all. The power cable is plugged in here, and we know where it's getting power because you can do a reset. You can push the reset button and then toggle it, push it back in. So that means that's hot, that's got power. It's coming in. When I turn the fan on though, nothing happens. So I'm going to take this apart, ohm around and see if I can find an obvious fault with it and maybe get this running. Okay, so probing around, things seem reasonable. I did find a bad solder joint right here and I've reconnected it, but it still seems like it's okay there. That's ohming out to be like 36 ohms now. When I crossed that before, I thought it was 2, which seemed weird. I'm getting 36 now. One thing I'm trying to do is test the power coming in. And so like here's the plug. And if you follow the lines, you see it comes in here, right? And you follow these 2 lines, it goes into this connector, this crimp connection, and that wire comes over to here. Well, can you see it? That wire comes over to here, which is part of this thing, okay, which I believe is some sort of rheostat. So when I put my terminal, when I put my continuity checker on the terminal here, which is the white wire here, okay, and I come over to the plug, I get no continuity. So that tells me this thing here must be bad, this circuit breaker thing. So I'm going to take it apart next and see if I can see something obvious. But with it set, it's currently set. I feel like I should get a continuity between one of these 2 prongs to this point here, okay, which is on this thing here. But I'm not, so I'm going to check that next. Okay, so there's a little circuit board in there, and the test I need to do is just to make sure that each one of these prongs, let me flip it over, each one of these prongs here that plug into the wall outlet are connecting to each of these wires. That's what I need to check. So let me do that. First one. This is almost impossible to do with one hand. Okay, so that one's connected. You can see I'm connecting to there, and let's try the other one now. Yep. So this is not the problem. Power is getting to here. Has to be. So why isn't it getting from here to inside there? Well, let me study it some more. Okay, I'm pretty sure I know what the problem is here. This thing here is the temperature control. It has a rheostat on top. Inside this piece here, it looks like there's a rheostat. And when you turn the knob, this plate assembly goes up and down. Well, when you turn it all the way to cold, it's supposed to go such that this thing pushes the contacts. See, there's 2 contacts there. It opens those contacts to turn off the fan. But when it's in the closed position, it's not conducting between the 2 planes, the two planes of that switch. So, or the 2 leaves of the switch. So I'm going to clean that up and see if that doesn't get it running. Okay, so I cleaned that switch, and what I did was I cut a very small, skinny piece of sandpaper, and I put it in between the 2 terminals of that leaf switch, and I just went back and forth on both sides, and you can see it was pretty dirty. See that? So now it works though. Check it out. We got power, the light comes on, fan's turning, and if I turn the control all the way to 0, it shuts the fan off. So everything's working as it's supposed to. Now, this is a seriously bad thing because if it happened once, it's going to happen again. So I'm going to leave it like this for now, but when it messes up again, I'm just going to short those 2 together, and it's always going to be on. So when you turn it to cold, it won't shut the fan off. it'll just blow cold air at that point. So the next thing I'm going to do is clean up all the dirt and stuff that's accumulated inside here, and I'll put it back together, and that should be it. I'll probably have one more video demonstrating it. Okay, here I have it all back together. I've cleaned it up a little bit, not a whole lot. Just got most of the stuck on lint and stuff, dirt devils and junk that's in there. Right now I've got it on just fan. The setting is just on fan, so it's not blowing hot air. If I put on level 1 heat, that's what the first dot is. I do feel it heating up, and the thermostat control, I assume, is working. I don't know. I guess when it gets to a certain temperature, the fan will turn off the heating elements, so, you know, depending on what you got set there. And then high heat would be this one. And it does feel like it's getting a little hotter. So basically this is working again, and all it was those contacts that oxidized or carbonized or something, and need to be cleaned. Now, it happened once, so you know it's going to happen again. So in the future, when it doesn't work, I know where to go directly to. I did a lot of checking here that didn't need to be done. You know, I did some ohming out, and I did find one repair that probably needed to be done. It had a bad solder joint, and I took apart the circuit breaker thingy that's built into the power cord. All that was completely unnecessary. It was just that one problem, but you know, you have to go through the motions to isolate it. Well, that's it. Before I started this project, I would have swore, I would have bet money that it would have been that thermal fuse had blown and was no good. Those are one-shots. I had said earlier that they can reset. Maybe some can, but generally the things they use in this do not reset. They're once and gone. If it ever overheats and it opens that up, that's it, and you have to replace it. But that wasn't the problem. I'm a bit shocked. I really thought it was that. So, well, now I got a space heater again, and that's kind of nice.